welcome back to the Anime Iceberg. I'm Megan,
And I'm Meg.
and today we're talking about Dr. Stone, episode 42, Treasure Box.
The Perseus crew are on their way to the Treasure Island, the birthplace of the Hundred Tales, where they hope to locate the treasure box left behind by the Soyuz crew.
And this covers manga chapters 101, Treasure Chest, and 102, Perseus, Ship of Science.
Yeah, let's get into it. So, the Perseus is heading to the island where the astronauts, um, or where they lived. And they want to find the treasure box that they left behind. And we see like the flashback of Senku's dad and the other astronauts like basically like gathering a bunch of stuff like precious metals and stones to leave behind for the future. Then we see another flashback. This time of Ruri telling Senku the Hundred Tales. And this is when I think we have maybe already mentioned this, but a lot of the villagers are like named after stones
Yeah.
and stuff. Um, and there's kind of a reason for that because a lot of the Hundred Tales mention these like different precious stones. Um, and throughout the tales, Senku like picks up on the phrase like talking about stones that they're like within the box. And that's when he like puts together that there's like a treasure box of precious metals that the astronauts left behind. And what he's really interested in though is the platinum because that can make unlimited nitric acid for them,
Yes. And
which
platinum is shirogane, apparently, in
oh,
Japanese.
interesting.
I think that's what he said, shirogane, or platinum. I just remember picking up on that because Shirogane is another character that Aaron Dismuke plays, and I was like, oh,
Oh
that's
wait,
what that
yes,
means.
yes, now I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Another connection. Yeah, so basically they can make unlimited nitric acid with platinum, so they'll have unlimited revival fluid. And this is when Gen cuts in and he's like, "We haven't done that yet because we haven't revived more people because we're at 150." And that is what is called Dunbar's number, which is the number of people that you can like have a relationship with or like are capable of keeping up a friendship with. Which honestly, okay, they don't do the best job of explaining what this is because they phrase it more as the number of people that you can remember
Mm.
in the anime. But
But it's
it's
more so the people
really
you can keep close relations
yes,
to.
that's what it actually refers to. Because I was like, when they described in the anime, it's like, well, I definitely know more than 150 people. But yes, like if you think about close relationships,
Yes.
then
And Gen's point was basically saying the way that they had been making nitric acid up to that point was very time consuming and they couldn't have too much of it. In fact, they've just run out. So if they ran out of nitric acid and they had all these people, if they had a bigger population than 150, there would be disputes over, well, who gets priority to revive their family and friends, and
mhm.
then it would lead to conflict, and that would just be horrible. So to find an unlimited source of revival fluid would be ideal, so they wouldn't have those disputes and they could just keep building the population without worrying about that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then this is when I don't remember who brings it up, but they're like, how are the treasures like still around? How have they survived for this long? And it's because the treasure box is the spaceship. Because obviously the spaceship was made to be able to leave and re-enter the Earth's what's the word?
Atmosphere.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Um
It's been a long week, you guys.
oh man. That isn't even the first time that's happened to me today.
Oh,
It's been rough. And it happened in front of someone that I didn't know.
oops.
Sorry, I promise I'm not dumb. Um, anyway. So they're gonna go find the spaceship, which is very exciting. Um, and this is when we meet a new character. Uh, he is on the Perseus, but he introduces himself and he's like, I'm not from Ishigami Village. And everybody's like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Like
Well,
he's not from
Senku has
Ishigami
a
Village,
good.
but he's also not
I mean, he
he's
could have
not
come
from
from
the
anywhere else, right?
yeah. Well, I'm saying he's not a modern person. That's what I mean.
Right, right.
Um,
And Senku has a good reaction to this because he's like, "Wait, who the heck are you? Why don't I know your name?"
yeah, and he doesn't have a name, or he didn't in the village, because his name would be out of place because it's Soyuz.
Yes.
Um, and he is from the island that they're heading to, and the island is not deserted, like everybody was kind of assuming, but I don't think Senku assumed that. But
No, no, he figured there'd still be
yeah,
people there
yeah.
because I
Because
mean,
why would you send everyone out
he
on
said
sea to
that
find?
in the anime. He's like, it would just be a death sentence. What if the whole crew died at sea? You'd get rid of the whole human population.
Yeah.
You leave some people back. It's kind of like their pilgrimage, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think. Oh, gee, now it's my turn to lose my train of thought. Oh, I think it's funny how they were calling Soyuz No Name up until that point.
hmm
His name is Nobody.
Oh no. I was about to start singing, but I'm not going to.
I
Whew.
almost baited you.
Don't do that. Uh,
But I
but
mean, it
then,
makes sense. It makes sense that like he's like, oh, just don't call me by a name because I mean everyone else in the village was like we said earlier named after rocks and he's named after a spacecraft and they wouldn't know that.
yeah, it wouldn't make any sense to them. Which honestly is like, okay, it's actually kind of surprising because you would think like their ancestors would be like, yeah, they would kind of just know that there's an island that has
Yeah,
more of their people on it. Like, why is that something that you just
I guess
forget?
over time because they don't
Unless
have.
they came like a long time ago, then
I
yeah,
think it
maybe they
had to
would
have
have
been a really
forgotten.
long time because they don't have any communications with them, obviously. So
Yeah,
yeah,
but anyway, then the question is, are they friends or foe? And they're just gonna have to find out. And in fact, they will find out very soon because they're almost there. Um, it's not that far of a journey.
when you have a big ship like theirs.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then we finally get a boat tour. Senku and okay, I almost said Kiseki again.
Ah!
Kaseki and
Ryusui.
Kuromers. Oh, nope, yep, and Ryusui, thank you. Are very excited to give a boat tour. And the only thing that I wanted to point out was they have 5 level bunk beds, which is
Mhm.
to me crazy. And then they have a mobile science lab.
Yes, and I will interject here because my grandpa was in the Navy, so I've heard some stories, and yes, sleeping in bunk beds, that was what they had. I mean, I think it's the most space efficient.
Mm-hmm.
But well, I mean they had hammocks instead of actual beds. Um, but instead of calling them hammocks, they called them fart sacks because you can imagine a group of guys all in one enclosed room. Yeah. But I don't know, he just has a lot of good stories about like the layout of the ships and what they would do for their jobs and he helped with uh he was an electrician, so yeah, he never really saw combat, but they did have a run-in with a submarine at one point, I think he said, which was kind of scary, but he wasn't surfing during wartime.
Yeah. I always think it would be cool to like be on a boat for like live on a boat for a while, but also scary because the ocean is a scary place. There's like so much that we don't know about it. Like it's actually crazy. Like I just saw something where like just like last year, they discovered so many new sea animals. It's
Wasn't there
like,
that eel thing that was like, how long was it? It just, I couldn't believe it was
oh,
real.
yeah, I don't remember, but just like so freaky that it's like there's stuff like that that we don't even know about.
No thanks,
I-
I'll pass.
Yeah.
I'd rather be in
Uh,
the Air Force where I could fly up really high and be like, no animals are bothering me because they can't exist up here with no oxygen.
See, I also don't. I like just want to stay on land, to be honest. That's my safe space. Anyway, but then after they've given their tour of the boat, there's a storm. And this honestly, this is probably the funniest animation of Senku. Like
His eyes are bugging out of his
his
head.
eyes are bugging out and he's running in like "There's a storm." And he's super excited because it's like a chance for them to like sneak up on the island. So
I
that's
love
what
how
they're gonna do.
Ryusui's so calm. He's even like he's got a cup on the table and it's like sliding back and forth and he just gently pushes it back. He's like, everybody stay calm. It's not gonna do any good to panic. We're fine. And Senku's just going, ah, as he rushes through the door.
But he's screaming for a totally different reason.
Yeah. More like, hurry, hurry, let's go, let's go.
Yeah. And that's the end of the episode.
Yep. Just a little Dr. Stone doesn't have any filler episodes. They have more of like prep episodes and travel episodes. So that was one
Hmm.
of this was definitely one of those. And like I don't know, I appreciate that because I mean, I hate filler episodes. I really do.
Yeah, this was definitely like, well, what I was saying, it was like a very low budget episode. Like the animation
Yes.
was like totally fine, but it was like they did a bunch of like
Chibis.
chibi characters like talking to each other, just the heads. And
Yeah.
like it was a lot
That
of like
I mean, that was definitely saving the budget. That can be attributed to the manga too, because there were a lot of scenes where you see the ocean and then you just see their heads within the speech bubbles,
hmm
to show the scenery.
yeah.
But another thing they had to do was they made the ship CG
Yeah, I
because it was just
noticed
so
that.
massive. And it's pretty good CG. It's just that I've watched some videos of Dr. Stone behind the scenes, like at the animation studio. Check them out on YouTube or on Crunchyroll. They're amazing and I love all of them. But that, I mean, the director even said we had to use a model because to draw the ship over and over again with all the details it has would just kill us. And
hmm
I will take that. I don't want the animators to be straining themselves. I want them to be able to do their work without much complication.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it looked fine.
Yeah.
Like, but it was definitely like I mean, I was fine with the episode, but it doesn't, nothing, not much happens. Um,
hmm
but,
Necessary, but not as action-packed.
yeah.
But anyway, so we got some manga notes. There's a Mecha Senku Q&A. The 100 tales seem really, really long. What sort of stories are in there? Senku says, you might expect the most crucial information to be contained in tales near the start of the list, but that's not the case. Ruri says, though they take the form of children's stories, there are some high-level concepts embedded here and there. And Gen says, if the important info was all packed into the first half, then people would have stopped remembering the second half. Spreading the info around was a nice creative touch. So there are some examples of the tales, like tale number 1 is Momotaro and the Savage Beasts, and it teaches to beware of wild animals. Tale 7, Forbidden Fruit, some food is dangerous to eat. Tale 14, Speaker, reveals the glass record's location. Tale 50, G1 Grand Prix, is a brief filler tale by Byakuya though, so not very funny.
I forgot he was a professor of literature or whatever.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Tale 51, Cool Must Have Rocks. Which rocks should be collected? Very straightforward. Tale 77, Revival Spells, Basic Folk Remedies. Tale 100, Senku Ishigami, The Message for Senku himself. Yeah.
I love that.
We also have another worker file, so this one is for Soyuz. 1 star for force of will, 4 stars for stamina, and 5 stars for memory. His height is
Right?
179 centimeters. Oh yeah, yeah, he
Like,
remembers a lot.
yeah, it's crazy. Like he's legit a baby and he remembered like his name and that he wasn't from the island and he wasn't from the
He's
village and like
he's like Ray from
uh,
Promised Neverland. He doesn't
yeah.
have but he
He doesn't have
the
infant amnesia.
infantile amnesia, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, okay, 179 centimeters, so he's 5'8", so pretty decently tall. Um, job in the kingdom is crew member. A woman once drifted to Ishigami village, and with her dying breath, she spoke the name of her baby, Soyuz. Since the villagers were all named after rocks, minerals, and metals, going by Soyuz would have given away his identity as an outsider. He could have taken on a new name, but he was reluctant to discard the only clue to his past and lineage. Instead, he decided to live his life with no name at all. And I think a lot of people could have issue with this part of the story because they'd be like, oh, wow, convenient character to introduce this rando who just happens to be from the island you're going to. But if you remember, we've known there was a strange, no-named character since the beginning. Like in the manga, at least, when all of the villagers are first introduced, there's like this little spread page of faces and names. He's on there, and it just has question marks where his name should be.
Hmm.
And within the anime, we've seen him plenty of times in the background. He's just never spoken till now.
Hmm.
So the writer and artist did a good job with that. Like he's always been there. He just hasn't been uh plot significant until now, I suppose you could say.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Shows they're doing some planning ahead, which I
Yeah.
appreciate.
He didn't just come out of nowhere, which would have been lazy writing. Instead, he's
Hmm.
like a little Easter egg. You're like, ah, you, I was wondering about you.
Hmm.
Kind of convenient that he remembers everything
All
that's
right.
important.
All
But
right.
we'll also get to that. There is a reason for that.
All
But anyway,
right.
more about him. So Soyuz is played by Aaron Roberts, who is Kamui Woods in My Hero Academia, Uta in Tokyo Ghoul, and uh, Takeshi Inada in Free, which is apparently a character in that movie where we can't find the dub. And
Yes,
if
if
any listener
anybody.
knows, please.
Yeah, it's like the last. It's road was it is it Road to the World
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something like that?
something like that.
Yeah.
If we can't find the dub, we will watch it subbed. It's just, I don't
We know the
know.
dove exists.
Yeah.
So, where is it?
No, I would just want to hear Makoto's voice again.
We'll have to watch that new anime and hear him.
Yeah, yes. Um, Soyuz's name is in reference to a type of Russian spacecraft. And
Mm-hmm.
we already knew it was related to spacecraft, but it is Russian, which makes it even more out of place among all these Japanese and English names. Oh, we
Yes.
had
Oh,
talking.
yes. Yep. Senku said get excited.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. We don't really have to. The only extra thing that we have is we finished Apothecary Diaries, or we only watched the first season. We're gonna
Hmm.
wait till the second season's finished, then we'll watch it. Um, but we started a new anime. We're watching Run with the Wind, which is
Yes.
about cross
Running.
country. Yeah, about running.
It's kind of a blend of cross country and track, honestly.
Yeah, they call it track, but
They're
they're
part of
running
the
long
track and field
distance.
team, yes, but basically the story is about these group of college guys, which is nice. They're not high schoolers, but these college guys who want to run the Hakone Ekiden. And an Ekiden is a race that's kind of like a relay marathon in a way. Um I know somebody who has run one and she is insane. Um but yeah, I've watched this show before. It's been some years, but Ava and I watched it or started watching it together when we were roommates and we both finished it later. But I was able to watch it in the dub, which is pretty good. But now we're watching it in sub because that's all Crunchyroll's got, and it's kind of like watching it over again for me. So it's pretty cool to compare. And I was also a runner, so it's great to have a sports anime that's actually a sport I played.
Mm-hmm. I am enjoying it so far. It has not inspired me to run. I hate
I didn't think
running.
so.
But I'm enjoying it. I do like, we'll see. I have some beef with like
Reggie?
the Heiji, like the guy who gets everybody to run because he basically like tricks everyone and then tells them all to quit everything that they're doing and just focus on running. And I'm like,
You
I
know,
don't
in a
know.
way, he's kind of like Senku, where he's like, this is gonna hurt, but it's gonna be good for you. But Heiji's a bit
But
more
okay,
underhanded.
okay, yeah, it's a bit more underhand. Well, I don't know about that, but but like the thing is like you can casually run and that's good for you. Like you don't need to be insane about it. But anyway.
Yeah, I'm chalking it up to cultural differences with the whole job thing.
Okay, I get I remember you saying that the other night, but the thing is that nobody signed up to do this.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the part that gets me. It's like I get it, they all like we're like, yeah, let's all do this together. And then he's like, okay, part of it is you have to drop everything. Like they didn't agree to do this. Okay. But anyway, I am enjoying it. Okay. I just don't appreciate his underhanded ways. Okay. And that's all we've got. So, Megan, what's your favorite line of the episode?
Mine came from Senku. Go lie down. On second thought, if you've got energy to spare, then get to work. And I picked that one because it kind of reminds me of like it's such a parent thing of him to say like, "Oh, you're bored," or "Oh, you got energy? There's some chores that need doing."
Mm-hmm.
And what was
Yep.
your favorite line, Meg?
Mine also came from Senku. I will just say he was like in like true
He's on
form.
fire.
Yeah, he had a lot of good lines and was just super like sassy and he was great in this episode. But anyway, my favorite line was, "Uh-huh, that's exactly what I just said. So thanks for listening."
The delivery on that line was good. It was really good.
And then what did we learn?
You can turn bad circumstances into good opportunities.
And who pushed the story forward?
Soyuz for revealing his past.
hmm And I think that's all we've got. So
Mm.
thanks for listening. We will be back next week with a more exciting episode, I would
Oh,
say.
yes. Yes, very.
All right. Bye.
Bye.